Hello everyone, welcome back to Hero Wars Guide. I have big news for you today. It looks like we are already getting another season, coming almost immediately on the heels of the previous Champions season. I noticed a game data update this morning, and as you can see on screen, we have a new season. They're calling this one the Cosmic Season, and we'll go through some of the rewards and the tasks and everything else you need to know in this video. The file we're looking at here just contains the English language text updates related to this new version of game data. And there are a few hints in here. You can see that the season name is Cosmic Season. Some of the rewards that we'll get along the way are going to be these 650 soul stones for various titans. You may notice that Solaris is absent from that list, but we do have Tenebris in there. So it may be too soon after the release of Solaris to get soul stones for her. As always, there will be a new loot box for the levels after 70. And then I think most of the rest are just mechanics for how the season works, an entry for the box name, the concept of season experience. We will have the option to gift the ticket to a friend, and there will be a bundle containing season experience, emeralds, and probably some of the loot boxes. Those are generally not good buys. Alright, so let's move into some of the details for the season. This file deals mostly with the rewards from the new season, and I'm not going to go row by row through this or anything. You can see at the start it begins with the energy buff that we're used to seeing as the first level of the ticket. Looks like 1 day of energy boost for the free tier and 2 days for the paid. But I'm just going to skip down to the bottom of this. I think the grand prize for the ticket is really going to drive the purchase decision for most people. So here you can see for level 71 and beyond, it's the normal 2 plus 10 loot boxes, 10 if you have the ticket. But here, level 70, as you may guess from this reward clip, the main grand prize for this new season will be another totem. So that's probably everything you need to know in order to make your decision about purchase right there. For people who do spend money in the game, I think these golden tickets are about the best offers that you ever see. And the seasons with the totem usually are the best value seasons among even the golden tickets. The one other thing to consider here with this final reward is the paid alternative reward concept. There was one season where if you had all of the totems maxed out, they gave you a bunch of the artifact spheres instead. I'm not 100% sure about this one, but I believe this paid alternative reward being a null means that will not happen this time around, and that you would just get the sphere even if you have all 30 or maybe it's all 12, because this is going to be a light and dark totem only. They'll be random between those two. But anyway, I think even if you have all 12 of them maxed, I believe this being null means that you'll get the summoning sphere anyway, and we'll have the option to exchange it for 200,000 emeralds. The only thing giving me a little bit of pause here is that this other similarly named entry here is talking about alternative reward information. But I think this being blank means that it will not come up this time around. Alright, so I think that's the main thing to know about the rewards. The next section here is going to deal with the ticket itself, and I'll translate a bit of this for you. There are two labels here. There's a start condition and a preview condition. These controls when the ticket will be available for play within the game, as well as when we'll start to get that little preview the day before the thing launches. And I can tell you that these timestamps translate to tonight, here in the West at least. About 12 hours from the time of the recording here, we're going to start to see the preview for this season, and then 1 day after that, the season will actually start. So that means here in the West, Wednesday night, the season will begin. Alright, the duration is what we've come to get used to. This is 30 days. Most of the rest of this is just various language strings. They're saying the ticket value here is 300k. I've not done my own analysis, but again, I think the totem is going to be enough to drive the decision for most people. Maybe if I get some demand for it, I'll add this as a bundle to the website calculator. But sometimes I think it's straightforward, so I guess I'll wait to hear if there's any demand for that. And then I think everything else in here is just controlling the, yeah, these are just having to do with the normal 8 streams of quests, where there will be 4 one-day tasks, 2 3-day tasks, and 2 7-day tasks. All right, so taking a look at some of the other updated files, there's just a few rewards here for some Titans. I think this is going to be the free player track where you get 80 of the soul stones, just enough probably to summon them. And this 230 will be for a super Titan, probably Tenebrous. This file here is confirming that we will again have the option to send the ticket as a gift. And if you're in a reasonably well-coordinated guild who is at the paying tier of the game, then you're probably going to want to set up a chain of gifting or a hub and spoke model, whatever works for your group. I'm sure by the 10th or 12th season or whatever this is now, you have that process locked down. The next file here is having to do with the loot box for level 71 plus. Probably not much to go over here. This one controls the contents of the loot box itself. You can see there's gold, there's a few coins, but really the vast majority of the rewards here are split between Titan souls, which is kind of underwhelming, and then some amounts of Ascension gear. I don't have any information on the percentage of the drops, but if they are evenly split, you can see here that a lot of it, the overwhelming majority, is taken up between these Titan souls and the Ascension gear. So if it is an even distribution, that's where most of the rewards will be. Okay, and as usual, there will be a couple of avatars, or maybe one avatar and one frame that come from buying the season ticket. And finally, this file here controls the quests that you have to complete at each level of the season. This format here is pretty brutal to look at, so I'll have a slightly less horrible format in the description of this video that you can copy and paste. Just keep in mind that 97 is the first of the one-day tasks, so 97 to 100 will be 1 day, 101 and 102 will be 3-day, and 103, 104 will be the week-long tasks. Alright, so that'll be in the description for you. Okay, I decided to create one more view of the tasks for this season. This may be slightly easier to look at. You can pause it in here if you're looking for anything in particular, but I just wanted to call out the first day tasks, since those can sometimes be hard to complete if the season starts in the evening, depending on where you live. But we can see that this one is actually pretty friendly. They did a good job not putting in any of the Valkyrie's favor tickets for the dungeon or anything that you're locked out of doing if you've spent most of your day. This time around, it's just a sticker in the chat, winning a few campaign missions, upgrading a Titan by a few levels. That might be something to save your potions for right now, if you tend to spend them all immediately. Leveling up a glyph by a few levels, same thing there, you should keep a couple of runes. Then the 3-day tasks will be buying things from the shop, so no problem there. Getting a few buffs from the adventure. You may want to control where you're at with adventures as this thing kicks in to make that a little easier. And then week-long tasks, spending 1,000 energy should be no problem, and completing 100 tower floors, again, piece of cake. Then last thing to call out here, I did highlight in red a few of the more difficult tasks, in my opinion, which are mostly dealing with hero soul stones in a day. You can see here towards the end on day 27, you have to get 20 soul stones of a hero in 1 day. And then in the 3-day section, in the middle of the season, you have to win 10 times in the arena, and then at the very end, you have to win 10 times specifically against tanks. So that may be a bit of a challenge. And then finally, in the 7-day section, sadly they threw 2 of the hero chest tasks at us. They're not as bad as they sometimes are. We have seen 50 here before. But we do have 2 rounds. The second week will have 20 hero soul stones from the heroic chest, and the final week will have 30. So not the worst targets that we've seen there, but if you do have to spend any amount of emeralds at the heroic chest, it's kind of a bummer. Alright, so that's my first look at the season. Again, I'll have the task list in the description. I'm a little surprised to see another one of these so soon after the previous, but it's not the worst thing in the world to have a totem coming a little more directly than usual. All right, I hope this gave you a nice head start on your planning. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again next time.